Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Amna from the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. We're back with the course Introduction to Journalism, bearing the code GMC 102. It's our 17th lecture, and the topic today is types of journalism. Well, journalism, in its most basic sense, is the process of gathering and presenting factual information. This information is used to transmit a story to the public and to create a record for archival purposes. This can be by print, digital, broadcast, photography, or through alternative medias. Journalism explains the events which impact people's lives in different ways and shared with people in various forms and styles. In this lecture, we'll discuss traditional as well as modern types of journalism. I'll start off with agricultural journalism. Well, agricultural journalism can be described as that part of social activity which is primarily concerned with the gathering, packaging, and reporting of agricultural related news and views to the publics in a timely manner. This is achieved through various media, including print, electronic, internet, etc. Initially, when we just had state-owned media, especially in terms of radio and television, we had a lot of agricultural journalism going on because Pakistan is an agrarian economy. For that matter, there was a vast need for informing journalists about, let's suppose, weather conditions and when to or how things work out, what are the new pesticides in market or the new kinds of seeds which make differences. So it was very, very common in those days. Now with the boom of electronic media, we cannot see this much often because people use media dependent on their own tastes. So it is still common, but it is in state-owned setups more. Now people are acknowledging, since there is a lot of demand, the demand is increasing for organic foods. So from that point of view, once again, agricultural journalism is reviving, especially in the Western countries. It's quite very important now, and it's reviving even in Pakistan slowly and gradually. So since it is reviving again, so it's considered as a modern type of journalism, and it has been growing recently for the past few decades now. The job of an agricultural journalist is to provide news related to the agricultural land, the problems and issues of farmers of a country, and modern agricultural methods and techniques, as I just explained, like these things. If, for example, when the tractors were a new commodity or were new to agriculture, so there was a lot of agricultural journalism just explaining the benefits of using tractors. Because it was an expensive thing, people were reluctant to change to that. So things like that happen. So this type of journalism has, as I just told you, has recently become popular. There are multiple fields like environmental welfare, the food industry, food conservation bodies, on which news can be made and shared. In many nations, there are separate news channels and newspapers designated to share information related to agriculture. As yet, I haven't come across any such thing in Pakistan, but if Pakistan went for such a thing, it would be quite favorable for Pakistan. Now moving to arts journalism. This field is for the art lovers. There are various forms of art, such as music, which is very much related to the youngsters like you people. Then literature. I doubt if any of you would be more interested in literature, but still it is an art. Films, drama, painting, poetry, and the list goes on. There are so many different fields of art, sculpture and stuff. So the job of an art journalist is to analyze the trend of the art world and share news related to it with the audience. Art journalism is sought after by a great number of audience. Therefore, many news agencies hire separate people to gather news about each field of arts. In Pakistan, the journal trend is that if there is an exhibition or if there is a new play, in the theater or stuff like that, these are covered. But actually arts journalism is far beyond that. The new trends are even discussed, and there are discussion about, for example, the issues, the problems, the new challenges, the opportunities available. It is dependent. I would like to share with you a video of a student of journalism department. She's an alumna of journalism department. Then we'll go more into details. So this is the report of Fatma Batul. Fatma Batul, I guess, graduated somewhere in 2012 or 2013 from CAST. So this is her report.
पाकिस्तान नेशनल काउंसिल ऑफ द आर्ट इस्लामाबाद में उड़ान के लिए 2 पर 1 नहीं के उन्वान से मुनफरिद फनपारों की नुमाइश का आगाज हो गया है। आयशा खालिद और इमरान कुरैशी ने अपने फनपारों में मुगल और फारसी मुसव्वरी की रवायात को जदीद अंदाज में पेश किया। आर्ट गैलरी में इस्तादा सुर्ख लाल पहाड़ इमरान कुरैशी की पेंटिंग समोए हुए हैं।
ये मेरा काम है, इसका टाइटल है एंड दे स्टिल सीक ट्रेसेस ऑफ ब्लड, जो कि फैज साहब की पोइट्री की इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन से मुतासर होकर मैंने ये टाइटल दिया। ये काम है उस बारे में जो एक बेगुनाह लोगों का खून ज़ाया होता है और आम लोगों तक वो पता नहीं चलता कि उसकी असल रीज़न क्या था, कौन लोग पीछे थे।
आयशा ने कश्मीर समेत दुनिया भर में मुसलमानों के साथ होने वाले जुल्म सितम को खूबसूरती से उजागर किया है।
पहला एक शो है हमारा जो कि म्यूज़ियम एग्जीबिशन है पाकिस्तान में इस लेवल पे। कुछ काम ऐसे हैं जो हम दोनों ने मिलके बनाए हैं और ये पहली दफ़ा कोलैबोरेशन हुई है कि एक ही पेंटिंग के ऊपर हम दोनों ने काम किया है।
इमरान ने सिरातुल मुस्तकीम के रास्ते को अपनाकर अमन की राह इख्तियार करने के मौजू को भी अपने फनपारों में पेश किया, जबकि आयशा का ज्योमेट्रिक पैटर्न भी नुमाइश की खूबसूरती में अहम किरदार अदा करता रहा।
Art is often a lens through which debates that occupy the country, let's suppose about race or gender, these are seen. It may begin with a single artwork, an artist's action, or a social media thread. But many art world discussions have a way of becoming national debates. One sign of generational change is the degree to which arts journalists today are willing to write at the intersection of art and politics. This is still lacking in many of the cases because it takes a lot of initiative, it takes a lot of strength to go for such topics. Currently in Pakistan, it's more about journey covering events, but the trend is increasing, and we look forward that when you would, for example, jump into the market, you would bring new trends, new positivities. Now moving to business journalism. Well, business journalism is the part of journalism that tracks, records, analyzes, and interprets business, economic, and financial activities and changes that take place in societies. Topics widely cover the entire purview of all commercial activities related to the economy. Business journalism is about collecting news about businesses around the globe. A business journalist has to collect news about the launch of new products in the market, about unions and procurement of companies, the performance of companies, economic ups and downs, etc., etc., etc. So there's a lot more to it. Reporting news about business requires great skill because it is one of the most difficult types of journalism. Therefore, business journalists have to prepare well-searched analytical reports to produce accurate news about the business world. Besides this, a business journalist can also produce news by exposing business-related scandals and making common people aware of it. So business journalism asks for a lot of information and understanding of business, of economy, of financial activities. Apart from that, since there is a lot of technical knowledge into it, so they need to report it in an easier way so that people tend to understand. So and the journalist is supposed to, for example, interpret it for the common man. So for that matter, it requires a lot of skill. Then celebrity journalism, the word paparazzi has become quite popular in the past few years. This term is especially given to celebrity journalists who work to gather news about celebrities like movie stars, singers, musicians, business tycoons, even, or any kind of pop stars, television soap opera stars, reality TV stars, members of royal families, sports celebrities, and the list goes on. Celebrity journalism is all about providing news about the professional and personal lives of celebrities. Yes, celebrity journalism does not restrict itself to the professional life of those celebrities. Rather, people love to, and the journalists tend to provide a lot of information even about the personal lives of celebrities. So, for example, it includes interviewing celebrities and reporting gossip about them. We'll not go into the discussion that it is ethical or unethical, but these things go on into celebrity journalism. There is a large segment of journalistic audience that entertains themselves by reading or watching news about the celebrities. Then we have, for example, celebrity-focused news programs that have developed over the years now. So since there is a lot of public who is into consuming news related to news related to celebrities, be those about their professional lives or about their personal lives or gossips about them. But since there are so many people who are interested in this, so celebrity journalism is quite popular. Even there are people who tend to collect even pictures, especially the youngsters, especially in their early teens. People tend to collect a lot of pictures of their favorite sports celebrity. Let's suppose there were some students. I asked them the other time that what are you up to, and they said that Shahid Afridi is in town, so we have got there to get autographs and stuff. And they even tried to make reports about it. They actually reported it as in packages and stuff. So it goes on, and people love to know about their favorite celebrities. Civic journalism, it is also known as public journalism. It is the idea of integrating journalism into the democratic process. The media not only informs the public, but it also works towards engaging citizens and creating public debate. This field produces news by making the use of democratic right of people, which is freedom of speech. A civic journalist interviews common people and asks about their problems, issues, or even their opinions. The information collected in this way is used to make news stories and present it to the whole world. A civic journalist has to do a lot of research and be present among people to make news stories. Since it is about people in their grassroots setups, so for that matter, the journalist has to be around the people in order to know what their problems are, what kinds of issues they are facing, or in order to just get their opinions about stuff. So this is also very important. Then going towards community journalism, while it is community journalism is locally oriented professional news coverage that typically focuses on city neighborhoods, individual suburbs, or small towns rather than metropolitan, state, national, or world news. If it covers wider topics, community journalism concentrates on the effect they have on local readers. This field produces news about a certain community, a town, a vicinity, or area. Therefore, it is also called local journalism by laymen. So we came across that it's community journalism is also known as local journalism, but in the journal public perspective, not in the perspective of journalists. Community news is not taken seriously by literate readers. Many times it so happens. However, it has great readership among the elderly and not very educated population, because actually it has great readership among the people of that specific community, since it does not actually focus on the metropolitan or on the main national and world news. That is why obviously it is not taken by people who consume that kind of news. As a matter of fact, community news affects people closer than the world or national news. So, see, the national news is not relevant to everybody, and the world news automatically. So it actually affects the community it is talking about. It may, for example, stories, jokes, or arbitrary news like even opinion articles shared by people are also part of this type of journalism. I would like to share an international report of EJ Plus with you. Here we go.
आज से कोई 30 साल पहले मैं ये सोच रखता था कि मैं कोई ऐसा काम करूं जो किसी के काम आए। चलो लड़की चलो जल्दी। तो मैं देखा तो एक बच्चा गाड़ी साफ कर रहा था। मैंने उससे पूछा आपने पढ़ा नहीं? तो उसने बताया मेरे माँ बाप गरीब है, मैं मजदूरी करता हूँ। मैंने उसको कहा कि मैं आपको पढ़ाऊँगा। मैं अपने पास से कापी लाया, पेंसिल दी उसको, रबड़ दी और वहीं पर ज़मीन पे बैठकर मैंने पढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया। अगले दिन 2 स्टूडेंट हो गए, फिर मैंने और सर्वे की, 3-4 हो गए। एक ही हफ्ते में 50 स्टूडेंट मेरे पास आ गई, लेकिन पढ़ाता रहा, तादाद बढ़ती गई।
Very good and very special.
3-6 कैरी। हम भी गरीब माँ बाप के बच्चे हैं। जब तक तालीम हमारे पास नहीं होगी, गलियों में फिरेंगे, झाड़ू देंगे, सारा कुछ हमारी किस्मत में थोड़ी झाड़ू लिखा है। हमने भी कुछ बनना है।
Witnesses say a vehicle pulled up alongside the upmarket Marriott Hotel and then exploded. A crater 30 meters wide suggests just how powerful the blast was.
जब वहाँ पर धमाका हुआ तो मैं वहाँ पर गया, तो वहाँ पर कुछ लोग फंसे हुए थे। उन लोगों को निकालने के लिए जब मैं आग में दाखिल हुआ, मेरा खुद ये जिस्म जल गया, मेरे ये हाथ जल गए, लेकिन मैंने उनको अल्लाह का नाम लेकर मैं आग में घुस गया और उनको निकाल के ले आया। मैं अपनी तनख्वाह के 3 हिस्से करता हूँ। मैं एक हिस्सा स्कूल पे खर्च करता हूँ, एक हिस्सा अपने बीवी बच्चों को देता हूँ और एक हिस्सा अपनी ज़ात पे खर्च करता हूँ। आज 30वां साल शुरू हो गया है और मेरा मशगला जारी है। हज़ारों बच्चे पढ़ के जा चुके हैं, पहली से लेकर 10वीं तक। पाकिस्तान को अगर तरक्की कराना चाहते हैं, हर रोज एक लफ्ज़ एक बच्चे को पढ़ा दो, अपने बहन भाइयों को, मोहल्ले वालों को, अपने कहीं जहाँ अनपढ़ हैं उनकी मदद करो ताकि हमारा मुल्क तरक्की करे। आपकी बड़ी बहन जो आपदा है, जो 10 साल मेरे पास पढ़ के गई, आजकल कहाँ मुलाजिम है? सीडीए के अंदर क्लर्क है। तो इंशाल्लाह ये कई सालों के अंदर मास्टर अयूब का एक बड़ा स्कूल बनेगा। आज वो स्टूडेंट जो हमारे पास मौजूद है और वो कहते हैं हम मास्टर अयूब बनना चाहते हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह बनेगा।
So you see, this is also journalism when you focus on a particular a story of a neighborhood or of suburbs or of small towns, and you discuss what is going on or whatever is relevant to that place. Now we'll move towards crime journalism. Well, this field of journalism has always been popular since the beginning of journalism. People are always curious to know about the crimes taking place nationally or internationally, as well as in their communities. They always want to know what exactly happened and seek accurate details about the criminal cases. People find such news amusing as well as entertaining. Let's suppose even if it's something happening to international celebrities or someone is involved, even for example 9/11 happened, so people are interested to know what happened, how it happened. So It is like a universal that people are interested to know about who is responsible for that crime. For example, the New Zealand shootings and stuff, everybody took interest in it. However, it requires a lot of effort and investigation by the end of the crime journalist to draw together exact information. The crime news is mostly based on violence or revenge, greed, corruption, drugs, any negative emotions can be involved in it. So, in order to become an efficient crime journalist, a journalist must have solid contacts to get hands on all important events. Now, contacts are very, very important for crime journalists. It's not just the contacts with police officials, but also wide range of contacts, because it's not just the police who can give you information about crimes. It is actually your contact setup that can provide you very, very important information. I would like to share with you an example which actually explains even though it's kind of an interview, but it actually explains why having contacts is very, very important for journalists, even though we discussed it just with crime journalism, but it is true for all kinds of journalism. I'll be sharing with you an example where it just explains that you need to have contacts and a good reputation with people so that you are able to get important information. Here we go.
16 दिसंबर 2014 APS का वाक़या, इंतहाई अफसोसनाक दिन। मुझे कॉल आई दफ्तर से कि चेक करें APS में कुछ हुआ है, वर्सक रोड पे कुछ हुआ है, आप चेक करें। मैंने ट्रैफिक वाले को कुछ नहीं बताया, मैंने कैसे शिविर लोगों ने डाला खतरा हुआ कुछ नहीं, मैंने कहा कुछ तो बताओ ना कि क्या हुआ। वो कहते हैं यार आर्मी पब्लिक स्कूल पे हमला हुआ। बस यकीन करें, जैसे ही उसने स्कूल का नाम दिया ना, यार स्कूल पे हमला हुआ है, मेरा उस वक्त ज़हन में था कि यार ये क्या हो गया। वहाँ पे मासूम मासूम बच्चे, मतलब एक अजीब सिचुएशन में आते हैं ना आप, जितने बड़े साथी हो जाए, दिल और दिमाग तो आपका है ना, आपको सोच तो आती है ना कि अंदर क्या हो, और फिर आपको पता भी ना चल सके कि अंदर जो कुछ कार्रवाई की जा रही है आपको वो भी इतलात पायर नहीं आ रहे यार। अंदर बस सिर्फ भी बात सामने आ रही है कि जी ऑपरेशन हो रहा है और ऑपरेशन हो रहा है। मैंने पहले SSP को मिलाया, मैंने कहा जी हमें कुछ तो बताएं ना। वो आगे से मुझे कहते हैं यार हमारे लिए काम देखते हो। मैंने कहा जी इसमें काम की क्या बात। कहते यार मुझे कुछ पता नहीं, उन्होंने फ़ोन बंद कर दिया। CCPO को मैंने मिलाया, उन्होंने कॉल नहीं उठाया। डिप्टी कमिश्नर को मैंने कॉल की, उन्होंने कॉल नहीं की। शुरू में 1.5-2 घंटे मुख्तलिफ चैनल बेशुमार जियो यही चलाते रहे थे। 9-10 बच्चे जो हैं शहीद हुए, 1-2 जो हैं स्कूल के हमले के एहलकार थे। मुझे एक कॉल मौसूल हुई एक खुफिया इदारे के एहलकार, वो मेरी सोच उसने कहा कि यार 70 बच्चे शहीद हो चुके हैं, जिनमें कुछ स्टाफ के एहलकार भी हैं। उसी शख्स की 1 घंटे के बाद फिर कॉल आई, उसने कहा कि 120 बच्चे शहीद होने वालों की तादाद 120 हो गई, और जिसमें एहलकार भी हैं कुछ चंद स्टाफ। अमूमन यही है कि फ़िगर 144 है, लेकिन ये फ़िगर जो है ये तो आपको एक इदारा है उसने दे दिया गया 144 जो है शहादतें हुई, लेकिन कुछ आज़ाद ज़राए जो हैं इस चीज़ को नहीं मानते। वो शायद कहते हैं कि ये फ़िगर जो है 180 से अबव था। अच्छा, 19 दिसंबर को मैंने अपने ऑफिस की गाड़ी ली और मैं होम डिपार्टमेंट चला गया, उसके पास बैठ गया।
Apologies for the interruption. Let's carry on with the video.
बताओ ना कि क्या है ना। कहते हैं यार छोड़ो, हमें भी ऐसे ख़राब कर दोगे, खुद भी ख़राब हो जाओगे। तुम्हें पता है कि ये खबर मैं दूंगा तो मेरे लिए मसला हो सकता है। मैंने कि बताओ तो सही है क्या। कहते हैं यार इनको पहले आगाह किया गया था 28 अगस्त को, एक लेटर हुआ है तो इनको आगाह किया था कि यार इस किस्म का हमला किसी स्कूल भी हो सकता है और वो दिफाई इदारे का स्कूल होगा। मेरे जहन में एकदम एक बात आई और मेरी आंखों में चमक आई। मैंने कहा तो बहुत अच्छी स्टोरी है, अगर इस किस्म का लेटर हुआ तो इसको तो सामने आना चाहिए। मैंने कहा दो ना यार। कहते नहीं बस चलो मैं तुम्हें पॉइंट बता देता हूँ, पॉइंट लिख लो, मुझे लेटर ना मांगो मुझसे। मैंने कहा नहीं पॉइंट नहीं, मुझे लेटर दोगे ना। मैंने कहा यार कि हम तुम्हारे साथ इतना वक्त गुजरा है, हम कोई ऐसे लोग हैं कि हम आपको कोई चीज़ कहते हैं यार देखो मैं बहुत इतने ख़राब हो जाऊँगा, ये चीज़ मेरे पास ही है। अच्छा उसने दराज को लिए मुझे लेटर पकड़ा दिया ये लोग और कहते दोबारा मेरे पास मत आना। मैंने कहा क्या हुआ है? कहते यार तुम देखो तुझे ये खबर है कितनी सेंसिटिव खबर है, अगर ये चलेगी तो कहते यार मेरे लिए मसला ना बन जाए, कहते भाई मेरे पास ना आना। मैं बाहर आया और बस वो लेटर में देखा उसमें बाकायदा लिखा हुआ था कि यार पहले से आगाह कर दिया था बशमूल IG KP समेत मुख्तलिफ इदारों को कि जी हमला हो सकता है, आपने ख्याल करना है, सिक्योरिटी मेजर लें, सिक्योरिटी बढ़ा दें स्कूलों की।
Shakil is actually related to, was related to Geo News by then. So, did you see how contacts played an important role? Obviously, he had contacts, he contacted certain people, and they knew what kind of person he was. So, they replied accordingly. Then, someone from one of his sources gave him inside information. So, because he had contacts, that's why he had a source who could call him and give him inside information. Same is the case when he discussed about the Home Department. When someone was willing to give him an official document, an official letter, obviously he knew the repute of Shakil, that Shakil would not expose him and Shakil would make the most out of that news. So your contacts are very, very important in all kinds of journalism, specifically when we talked about crime journalism and other such kind of things, where you tend to investigate into the depths of something. Now let's move towards a lighter side, cultural journalism. See, the world is full of different cultures and religions. People are not aware of the different cultures and religions of various countries. Because of this reason, cultural journalism came into the picture. The job of a cultural journalist is to explore the different cultures of the world and report about various customs, festivals, history, languages, and art of those cultures. This field of journalism is fun to work for and provides an opportunity to the journalist to travel and to live in various parts of the world. However, it is not only fun but requires great skills and constant learning to excel in this field. For instance, the journalist has to learn local languages to get information about various cultures. And since you know about the cultural contexts of communication, you know that they need to understand how different communities work with what are their customs, a bit information about that, so that they are able to get information from those people, so that those people are actually willing to talk to the journalist. I came across a very good news piece package about cultural journalism. I would like to share that with you. We all know about, it's been some time now that truck art and Pakistani paintings, these are very, very famous. Like I have had personal experiences with foreigners who would love to go to these places and watch how buses and trucks are painted, and they would be in awe for the kind of work or the kind of art that is displayed on it. So here is a report from AJ Plus.
ਬੜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਸੀ, ਵਕਾਰ ਸੀ ਮੇਰਾ। ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ 50,000 ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੀ ਪਤਾ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮ ਤੋਂ ਕਮ 40 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸ਼ੌਕ ਸੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਕੰਮ ਦਾ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਬਾਅਦ ਦਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਇਹਦਾ। ਜੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸੁਣ। ਗੜਫੋਰਡ ਸੀ ਰਾਕਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਨ, BMC ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸਨ ਉਹ ਵੇਲੇ। ਮੇਰਾ ਕਾਰੋਬਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀ। कराची की, सिंध की, हैदराबाद की, पिंडी की, पिशावर की, लाहौर की, मुल्तान की, पर ऐसे कि थोड़े गड्डी के पैसे मिलते सन। घरों बाहर नस के आ गया था, मजबूरी सी भी ये काम सीखना तां रोटी लभनी तां गुजारा होना। मैं जो साल को शिगिरद पिया था ना, तो साल को फ्री यानी साल काम किया जी, सिर्फ रोटी नहीं खाई दे, बड़ी मुश्किल काम सीखा मैं उन्होंने दिनों के। कई लोग शौक ना सीखते, कई लोग मजबूरियां काम सीखते आ के उन्होंने बच्चे और टाइम स्कूल की फीसा नहीं दे सकते, बच्चों को रंग का काम सिखाया, किचन मिस्त्री का काम सिखाया, और मिस्त्री निके निके बच्चे लाए। मजबूर लोग ने बेचारे बहुत मजबूर है। 500 रुपया 600 रुपया दिहाड़ी चल रही है रंग के काम की। पुराने बंदे चले गए हैं, हूँ तो नवे शिगिरद आए हैं, नवी भूमिका आ गई है। कलम ਨਾਲ तस्वीर बनदियां सन, कलम ਨਾਲ सारे काम होंगे, सिवलियां वगैरह हर चीज़ कलम ਨਾਲ होंगी सी। अपने टाइम के हाथ का भी बड़ा काम खूबसूरत सी, और मशीनी काम आ गया, अपने हिसाब में भी बड़ा खूबसूरत काम हो गया। ये चंगा काम हो गया टेपां का।
लोग बहुत पसंद करते हैं, इसके लिए न्यू गाड़ी पे करते हैं। जब ये गाड़ी बाहर रोड पे जाती है वहाँ भी पसंद करती है, ट्रांसपोर्ट भी पसंद करते हैं, हम खुद पसंद करते हैं। बाहर की क्या बात करें, गाड़ी अच्छी होगी उसमें हम बैठेंगे, गाड़ी माड़ी होगी उसमें हम नहीं बैठेंगे, पता नहीं तोड़ जाएगी कि ये रास्ते में रह जाएगी।
हम तो करते रहे हैं सारी जिंदगी है जी। कम से कम मेरा 35 साल का 40 साल का तजर्बा हो गया रंग के काम का। और मैं बूढ़ा हो गया और काम नहीं होता मेरे को, मैं बीमार रहना वा, इतना ही मोटिया उतरिया मेरे साह आता मैं जी, मतलब बोर हो जाना बह बह के। ये बीमारी ना वजह साड़ी मसा की रंग की ढिड की कैमिकल थिनर वगैरह जोड़े पेट्रोल मेरे नाल के जोड़े बंदे ने कोई भी 25 बंदे बेचारे बीमार ने। मैंने बड़ा चिर हो गया इलाज कराते, मैंने आराम ही नहीं आन दिया। टाइम वक्त पास करना चाहिए अड्डे जी, चलो दिन लगा रहता जिंदगी के 4 दिन जो पूरे करने ने अड्डे जी कुछ फिर तुर के निकल जाते हैं। चलो शिगिरद ने किसी शुगर मेला कर लीदा, किसी में ला के मैं उठ लीदा, किसी ने गप्पा मार लीदा। मेरी कोशिश यही है कि नवे लोग जोड़े ना कम करना। मैं मतलब कि जिंदगी में पैसे नहीं जोड़ सकिया, खर्चे नहीं पूरा होता जी, बच्चे नहीं पढ़ा सकिया, हालात के साथ नहीं जिस हिसाब से।
So you see, journalism is not limited to that concept that it just has to be this kind of news and that kind of news. There is so much variety, there is so much opportunity in this field that it is just, that sky is just the limit. It is up to you how you come across different things, and your knowledge of the different kinds of journalism, it helps you out to explore different fields and work on different kinds of stories. This is all for today. We'll continue with the types of journalism in our next lecture. Thank you.